after doing my graduation in sciences, कर लिया. I said, now can I do what I want to do? I said, architecture करके करेगा क्या? Especially when next generation joins in. Then you should join in the mail room first, then go to the top. If you join at the top, there's no top to grow. Then you start falling down. So we have to get rid of the, I'll do this. No, we will do this. Instead of I, me, we, us, our, all that has to come into whoever we are working with.
Generally, we look at creativity separate, business separate. I mean, is it possible to have all of this together?
Yes, it is possible. Why is the hospital not having it all together? Doctor is a professional, architect is a professional. But it's not the doctor who runs the hospital. There's somebody else who's driving the doctor to run the hospital. If there is a management person who can drive the architects to do something, that's exactly what one wants in any growing organization. And the way India is growing, we are going to need larger organizations. I mean, the kind of projects if we want to do. And you need an organization which has enough people to handle it.
What would be your approach to defining success?
I still believe it's a state of mind. Na? Somebody will believe I got more money, I'm more successful. Somebody say I got more job satisfaction, I'm successful. I've done a bigger project, I'm more successful. The objective is to make money. If the objective is, no, I want my name only, then eventually the organization will run down. And everybody needs to realize that. If a person not capable of running an organization is feeling that he should be running the organization, it will be exactly what is happening with Rahul Gandhi. We started an office out here with just the two of us. We stuck with each other, and that's how it evolved and started growing only.
Creative Sparkplug is a black book of creative journeys.
Come again.
I'll explain myself again. Creative Sparkplug is a black book of creative journeys. In this podcast, we speak to creative individuals and record their stories. It gives insight into creative lives.
Okay.
Serves as inspiration for the young. And nourishment for people who are dealing with challenges.
Okay.
Today we are talking to Anand Puri. We've had the fortune to record with Sir's younger brother, Deepak Puri. So we'd like to know your story, sir. Over to you.
My story is that I started my architecture after doing my graduation in sciences, because that was the order of the day in those days. Parents had forced you have to do science. So, kar liya. And then I said, now can I do what I want to do? So they were quite taken back. Said, architecture karke karega kya? I mean, there is no, what do architects do? Nobody had an idea, but I was quite clear that I wanted to do something very nice and creative. Science was very boring. It was very 2 + 2 is equal to 4 and H2SO4 and things like that. So I kind of didn't like all that what was happening to me in those days, and I found architecture very nice, and I got encouraged when I joined the college. I got admission. It was wow. And then in the first year I topped the class, and that was excitement for me. Arey, ye to mere liye correct course aa gaya hai. And that added an entire thing, and yes, it was a nice creative journey. It was definitely very different from any other type of education. You didn't need books. And I think you couldn't afford the architecture book, so library was the only option. And yes, when one notebook I could finish 5 years of college. And seriously, that was the way it happened. And
one notebook, 5 years.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. I still have that notebook with me, and it's maybe just 3/4 full. And a lecture would be just 3 lines kind of thing, and you would consolidate everything into that, and it's not going further. That's just what it is. And I was away when results came out, and there were few job options kind of thing. So anyway, I applied for a job when I came. I got no jobs. Then I applied for post-graduation. I got post-graduation. But then there was somebody who was waitlist 1, and he told me, I'll give up my job. You give up your seat. So I said, damn good compromise. And that's where I started working with a firm and worked there for about 13 years. Until Milind and me decided to set this up.
So post-graduation didn't happen?
Post-graduation did happen. It didn't need to happen, actually. Post-graduation is just an option. Abhi kuch nahi mil raha hai, to chalo post-graduation kar lete. And not that I was excited about doing post-graduation. There's nothing to do. I've seen our post-graduation professors. It didn't add any value to what they were doing. They did it just because they wanted to get into the teaching line. There was no other demand for post-graduation. And most of the guys who did post-graduation today are into the education stream. And I find them to be professionally not there. So probably the correct decision I took that time. And then next is creativity. How do I get into a creative spell? It's by removing most of the clutter in your mind, which stops so many nice things from happening. If you meditate for some time, look at the piece of paper, meditate on that piece of paper, and then the creativity starts happening automatically. And I can't segregate this is creative, this is physical execution of it, anything. It's all clubbed together. I can't say stop this and start that. It has to happen simultaneously, what you're thinking, and in various different spectrums. And it gets more and more interesting when you come to yes, solution, yes, eureka. But that doesn't end there. It can always change. If there's one good solution, there are also 100 other better solutions possible. But at that point in time, that's the best solution. The client likes it. That's fantastic. That's exactly what you want. You want it to work. And if it's working, there's nothing better than that. That's my thing on creativity is not separate from anything else. It's just mixed with everything else. I have a partner with slightly different philosophy.
Right.
But that's good. If both of us thought the same way, one is not required.
Yeah.
Okay, but both of us think differently and it works well for both of us.
In today's language, like they say, you're the co-founder along with Milind sir in CDE. We recorded with Milind sir. You came together. How did you come
Okay,
together, and what was
I'll tell
it
you.
like, and why Milind sir, or how Milind sir?
I'll tell you. Milind sir was a partner in the organization I was working for. That partnership dissolved in 1997, though Milind and I go back very far from our childhood.
Mm-hmm.
We have grown up in the same colony, played on the same street, and fought with each other, friends with each other, right from the age of some 8, 9 or something like that. Then I started working in that firm and then separated. Milind separated from that firm. I was the associate out there. I also called it off, and then we got together and we've known each other for lots of years. And our parents have known each other. It goes that way. And our kids know each other. They are friends. So we get along quite well together. No issues as such, because both, at least I believe, we understand each other and what the other person is looking for and what each of us is looking for actually. In terms of the kind of work we do, how we go about our lives, we rarely meet each other over weekends. It's only in the office, and yeah, you need your own time also. That's how it really works for us.
So, if I remember from Milind sir, architecture, first, what was this
Oh,
first?
the 3 wives he's talking of?
Yeah.
Hey, that's okay. I know all his philosophies.
His body, then
First he,
architecture.
I just want to know if
got
they are-
married to his body, then he got married to his
Architecture.
profession, and then he got married to his current wife.
Yeah.
I have nothing like that.
No,
Okay,
I wanted to know
it's all-
if you are his fourth wife.
No, I'm not. No, definitely not. Okay.
The one he didn't speak about.
No,
Then we will get into the spiritual
No,
aspect
no.
of it.
He has a lot of spiritual. I also believe I am also a very spiritual person, but my philosophies are not exactly his.
Right.
Okay, neither am I very materialistic about things, and I just like the way life is going on, smooth, happy, not too much of excitement, not too much of not so nice things. And work-wise, both of us stay pretty independent of each other.
So from Deepak sir, we got to know that first your middle brother, who's younger to you,
That's
he
right.
got into architecture.
That's right.
And then you, and then Deepak sir. So how come everybody thought of architecture?
No, he thought of architecture and thought it was a very nice thing that he's doing. Okay, I was very excited when he joined architecture. I said, wow, man, this is the correct thing a person should do. I didn't also know much about architecture. And that's where I got exposed to it. And I said, let me graduation get over, make parents happy, and I'm going to do this. And he quit after a month or so.
Yeah.
Very depressing. I mean, why? He found it stupid doing architecture.
Right.
He said, no, he likes 2 and 2 is to 4, and he's a very engineering kind of thing. Like what he said, engineers are very focused. If this works right for them or nothing. And I said, listen, if this is done, so what? There's so many other ways to make it work. I mean, I had a very relaxed approach to things and not very focused. This is the only way, and get excited about it or get depressed about it.
Are you the oldest or the youngest?
I'm the eldest.
You're the eldest, right?
And Deepak, he's my youngest brother. He's also an architect.
Yeah.
He got inspired by me, and I joined architecture. Arey, what? And you see this guy is having fun here with what he's doing. Instead of slogging and reading the same thing, mugging the same thing, this guy comes home after office. I used to go to work because the college was till 7 o'clock. I used to work. So I starts at 7, ends at 1, and I used to go to work by 3 o'clock. Get off work by 6:37, and go with friends. I come and sit down and do my work at home, and which was like from 9 o'clock till maybe midnight or something like that. And he found this very exciting, and he's having fun. I mean, he's drawing and things like that, which is so nice as compared to what anybody else is doing. And he got inspired by that.
Going back to the time when Milind and you came together, that's 97. And by this time...
we came together in 83, where I was working in a firm where he was a partner.
Right. And he did mention, if I recall correctly, that fallout wasn't nice for him.
It wasn't nice for him, and somewhere even I got dragged into that fallout. And that's okay. It's something to best forget about it. And I was forgotten about it. I mean, it was sad for him, and of course, a lot of burden came on me that time to see that things were running, and we're still not kind of getting uncomfortable. That was a bad period. That's about all.
Right. So what we wanted to understand. So, in retrospect, if you talk about 83, this is 2025. You guys have gone ahead with this camaraderie, and I'm using that word with intent here, for more than 40 years. According to us, it's not an easy feat because they're two different independent individuals with their independent bent of mind, philosophy, spiritual inclinations, asks from their own life, and all of that. To look at this is a success story in itself. What we would like to inquire into is the principles on which you may have created or come together, if there's a framework to that, and if there was at that point of time, how did this framework evolve over a period of 42 years?
Both of us have very strong ethics about how the profession should be carried forward. Both of us wanted the profession to grow and to change the profession into a better way of working. It's like either you take shortcuts and destroy the profession, or you make it grow. And it's like this: we would not work for Pitt's fees. We used to demand our fees, get it, or so sorry. I mean, we never felt really bad about not getting a project. I mean, maybe, okay, I'm so overshooting that. Maybe little unhappiness for a moment, but that would go because something else would come up. And next was, first thing, that was our belief, which is common right throughout. Both of us are very creative. Both of us respect each other's inclinations towards design and other philosophies. You doing this way, okay, but I have a better way of doing it. And eventually we come across a solution where both come across a nicer way. If I'm not happy with the way he's doing something, then he works towards in a different manner. Or he's not happy with the way I'm going, but we are working in a different manner, and we come about something which is much nicer and appreciated by everybody else. We also know how what our demands from the profession are. It was always, my thing was always to make an organization grow. When we started, we didn't name the organization like Milind and Anand Company or Milind and Anand Associates or anything like that. It was, let's make an organization, let's make the organization grow, and tomorrow anybody could be heading the organization, just like Infosys, Wipro, any of these companies. It's not, Infosys is not Narayan Murthy and company or anything like that. So we wanted to build an organization and make the organization grow even after we are not there. So that was one of the principles, that we want to make it grow, and you can't make it grow if you are going to have infighting and things like that. So best is to understand from each other, work together, and next was to, of course, how we are presented to our staff. And we always came about that these guys, and these guys get about things very nicely. And if somebody told me, no, Milind sir told me this, I'll tell, no, he didn't tell you this. We understand each other to that respect. They go on site and he said, no, he didn't say this. He would have told you this, and you are taking it as this. So to that extent, we understand what he would have said, and what he understands what I would have said. And he understands that I have certain technical skills because, of course, doing my graduation and science background, so I'm more adaptable to technology than he is. He's slightly technologist. I mean, challenged. Okay, but that's okay. I mean, we understand this and respect it. And
मैं उनको बता दूंगा.
then he knows. we tell that to each other. He knows that he's on that. He's challenged. I mean, he still struggles to send a message or an email.
That's beautiful that I hear that you guys acknowledge each other's strengths, potential,
Most is to
and
respect each other's weakness. Our strengths is very good. Respecting each other's weakness is more important.
Yeah.
I mean, people have problems with other person's weaknesses or try to exploit their weakness. We understand the weakness and we respect the weakness and never try to exploit it.
I think that's a brilliant learning that you are giving away in very simple words, actually. I will also actually get back to the start all over again. I know for a fact that, and you've already mentioned that you guys grew up together. तो लड़ाई भी करी होगी,
हाँ, बहुत किया,
दोस्ती भी
बचपन में बहुत किया है.
So
And
there
we have
was
so many common friends from childhood.
the aspect that I wanted to get into is this relationship that has only grown so far. You guys met each other, I mean, grew up together as kids, and that's a different level of intimacy that kids have when kids grow up together. I'm assuming you guys piggybacked on that in 83 when you guys came together. But what you shared just a few minutes ago about how you guys respect each other's, what you dislike about each other, more than what you like about each other. Did that happen in 83 or that was always there? Or has it evolved over
It has
time?
evolved over a period of time. Let's be stupid. It's evolved more after we got together and maybe somewhere between a few years before we really got together and started the organization in 97, maybe 4-5 years before that. It started that, yes, because both of us were stationed here. We started an office out here with just the two of us. Somewhere in 87 or 88, and only two people were there. If I have to take prints, one of us has to take the motorcycle, go out, take prints, come back, go for a meeting, and that kind of a thing. And with two people in the organization, you kind of, it's just like two people married together. They have no other option. We stuck with each other, and that's how it evolved and started growing only. By 97, we knew each other totally. And we said, yes, we can work together.
Right.
And we gave it our best shot that time. And yes, because I think Milind wasn't really trouble with his older partners and very uncomfortable times. And I mean, times he would not come to the office for a week and things like that because he was involved in sorting things out. Which is, okay, let him sort it out. Eventually, it's all going to get over, is what we said. Any problem is there, it's not going to stay for life. It has to get over at some point in time. And again, you'd come back and we'd again start working and kind of forget it until we got one more kind of summon from somewhere else.
Right. Tell me something, sir. 83, you guys created this organization.
No.
No, 97.
So 83 से 97 तक क्या हुआ?
हम काम कर रहे थे
उन्हीं के साथ.
उन्हीं के साथ.
अच्छा, मैं और एक चीज पूछूंगा. Coming straight to, again, taking the learning and trying to make it more relevant to us. Let's say Rajesh and I, we do Creative Spark Plug. In some sense, that's an organization, right? And yes, you're right that we came together because we have respect for each other. But what I'm taking away from this conversation right now is the fact that we will be able to continue in a very value-creating and loving manner only when we are able to respect the other person's deficiency as we see it or shortcoming as we see it. Now, that is one aspect of it. But would you suggest a structural framework beyond this to the both of us to take this forward?
Like every time you do something, you need to, one thing is reviewing whatever you have done together. And that really helps because then we exactly know how we should be taking it forward. Review is a very important thing. We just get over it. Once we do it, it's over. Then let's move to the next. That's where this review is very important. That what we did, what could have been done a little better than what we did so far. And then that's how you start evolving together. Both of you start contributing to each other. And instead of just fighting over it, it's your fault, you did that. No, not that way. But we all say, yeah, all of us are allowed to make mistakes, first thing. You're allowed to make mistakes, okay? Just that don't try and repeat them very often. That's all. And once you start doing that, it starts making sense to the way you worked in the past and how you'd like to take it forward also. I put it very simply, but there are a whole lot of aspects like this that one needs to look at.
So when you guys have a review, Milind sir and yourself, what do you guys discuss?
Oh, we discuss casually over tea and we talk about what happened out there. Arey, ye karna chahiye tha, aisa, it would have been better. Like even after a phone call with a client, we say, hey, sorry, we should have mentioned this and that. So that's the kind of, it doesn't have to be sitting together and project khatam ho gaya, abhi usko review karo. Have a phone call, we review.
Right. And that's a personal catch-up as well.
Yeah, it's a very catch-up time. And when we are office like first hour.
भाई साहब ये तो हम कर रहे हैं और तुम्हारी बीवी मुझसे नफरत करती है.
First hour of the day when we come together in office, is only this, not वो नीचे जाके ये देखो क्या किया, ये क्या हुआ है, ये क्या नहीं हुआ, but we just talk to each other. अरे इसका phone आया था, ऐसा ऐसे ये, that's the kind of thing which you need to do, and that's how we review everything which has happened, and that's how we stay abreast with what the other one is doing in office.
I have
Yeah.
two personal questions here. One is from one is from a generation across, and one is from the same this thing.
Okay.
When you're sharing so much with another person, doesn't your life partner have an issue with it because they know you better than her?
Yes, it was initially. You're saying you're spending too much time. Yeah, I'm spending because I enjoy it. Now that thing I say, I go to office to de-stress.
You should pick on that. मैं बाशु के साथ बात कर रहा हूँ.
That's getting more cruel, but that's what I actually come to office and I de-stress. Okay.
So you know how his wife introduced me to the family, right? Not as Bashu. Hello, मेरा स्वतन से मिलिए.
So yeah, that's the correct way. But I actually come to office to have fun.
Right.
My profession is about really enjoyable. You do something nice now. How excited you feel about it. It's all stress is gone. Anything which happens, thoda idea acha, like you get hundreds of ideas a day. One good idea can make you laugh and feel good about yourself. And that's why office is so much fun. Wherever you sit with anybody, what are you doing? It's so much fun to talk. I mean, I really enjoy talking work. If people call it work, for me that's a very creative thing, and that's very enjoyable, and it's worth sharing than other bitching about other things.
The other question I had is, now you mentioned that every call that happens, or not necessarily every call, but generally you keep discussing everything that is discussed during the work. And I have this problem with my boss, who's my dad as well, that his concern is that I don't communicate with him too much.
Yeah, I'll tell you.
So
Do you
does
have a
I
boss
understand
daddy
your
or a daddy
problem.
boss?
I'm telling you exactly, and like I know your father, I know you. You have a generation gap. Now, if I have to talk now, like Milind has that problem with his children.
I was coming to that
he has a
because you
problem.
have
But
that-
they have no problem talking to me on, like Milind's son has no problem talking to me on that. Okay, and Milind has started thinking, you and Kunal get well together. Okay, because in fact I said Daddy should not come and sit in the meeting where Kunal is sitting. Okay, that way he has more independent thinking. It will work better for him. If I asked Milind once, said, listen, you don't come into this project, just stay out of it, and Kunal will handle it. And it works much better. Like dad is dad everywhere here. You can't change that. You have to just expect that. And yes, I understand your father. I've known him for 45 years or so.
Yeah.
Something like that. When he just come to us, since he was on moped, something like that. I know him. Today he's one hot shot. He's an industrialist is what I say. And,
So because the reason I asked
so
is,
he's the way he is because he has grown from there to there, and you are coming in the middle. Okay, you just joined somewhere in the middle, not at that level, and then so there is a little thing you say. I spent some time on the shop floor. You understand, but so those are kind of things which happen. Like I
also
say,
cross generation, is it a problem with only me and him, or is it generally
no.
thing? So that's why I just wanted to understand.
It's a problem across the board always, especially when next generation joins in. Like say, you should join in the mail room first. Okay, then go to the top. If you join at the top, there's no top to grow.
Yeah.
Then you start falling down. So that's what I say. Come and sit in the studio, because anyway, see, there's a lot of nepotism feeling everybody would be having. Okay, because you just probably getting too much of advantage over lots of things. So it's
I think
somewhere to start not at the top level. Somewhere start at a lower level. Then you say, you've kind of dirtied your hands into all that, and now you're coming. You know exactly what's happening.
I have a little bit of a funny take on it. I just feel that between a senior and a junior, the rites of passage are simpler. When a junior starts taking responsibility and starts relieving you of responsibility, the senior, by default, typically, would start that becomes the rites of passage. दे देता है. लेकिन बाप और बेटे के बीच में rites of passage is complicated.
वो होता भी है, understand, but then see, the father is thinking, listen, the new guy in the younger generation has a different thinking, and that is the futuristic thinking. Your thinking has been burdened by other responsibilities which has not let you do so many things. So that's where the difference should come. In fact, more important is for the father to understand that yes, the younger generation can think of things in a different manner, maybe a better manner, because he's not been restricted by the past.
So coming to my question on the organization and the organization living beyond one's lifetime, because mostly, generally, the practice is that an architect is there, they name it after themselves, and by the lifetime of the individual, the firm also slowly dies its life.
That's exactly when what one doesn't want it to happen. That's why you groom people to grow. See, everybody eventually first thing is, yeah, yes, I want my position in the organization to be respected. I need to have a growth path somewhere in the organization. And next thing is financially also it needs to start making sense to them. Then we talk of percentages on project. Then we have percentages in the entire organization. So that's one way to make things happen in an architecture firm or any consultancy firm. And slowly try to wean off. I mean, I am seeing that yes, I can slowly. I've started coming in at 11:30 and things like that, and leave by 5 o'clock. Spending less and less time slowly, and let other people take over, and give them an opportunity to do things in their own manner. And next is now what happens now, we have to get rid of the I'll do this. No. We will do this. Instead of I, me, it has to be we, us, our, all that has to come into the way we work with whoever we are working with.
And at an organization level, are all these written down as rules and guidelines, or
There are no rules and guidelines in this year. There are no rules and guidelines. You go with the flow, you see how things are happening, and you need to take corrective steps very often. Otherwise, things can go really out of gear. But once you are on a path, you need to give an opportunity for the path to move further. You can't be a spoke in the wheel every time.
One more thing that I also wanted to understand from a architectural practice perspective is generally a lot of architects are known for the style that they adapt for the design that they do, and CDE has a very neutral design.
I would like to believe that we are more versatile, is what I would like to put it. See, everything cannot have one solution. It's just an example what we are doing. We were typically did a resort for someone, then we had a convention center. And we went again with the same modern lines, and he said no. Then we understood no, that will not work for us, because people wanted more of a little bit more opulent space and things like that. So that's where we need to get versatile, allow ourselves to think differently. There's no one set pattern which will give you will get the same solution every time. So if you want to grow and experience different things, you need to be versatile with most of these things. And I'd say get more people involved into that, and just don't start doing things solo. If you do things solo, you'll be repeating the same thing again and again and again.
Right.
And change is the only constant thing, and change will happen. We have experienced different things and different trends, and now it's a situation where you'd like to predict the trends. That's with understanding the past, we can say, yes, we can do this, but I need the younger generation to explore that. I mean, I like to have younger people in office. I enjoy talking to them. Communicating with them is definitely a lot more simpler than people who have been there, very seniors. You cannot communicate a lot of things with them because they've been stuck with a certain kind. They have a certain mindset. The younger people, it's nice. So I believe that we need to, explore more. That's about all. And second thing, more than what you're saying, na style, I would like to say somehow we got into hospitality and retail. That's been our segment, and that's where we have explored ourselves further and further into. And then specialize I don't believe in style, but I say specialize in the type of projects that you do. Like you're doing your masters or post graduation into something like that, like a doctor specialized into something. So you specialize into two things. Okay, sadly or for good, I don't know what, when COVID happened, a lot of things happened. The two of our verticals with hospitality and retail both took a big hit. And that's where we started exploring residences, because the people started working from home, and then you said, yeah, with the hospitality background, we can do better residences. Because everybody would say, oh, comparison of a bedroom is a hotel room. I don't say that is right or something, but that's the mindset people have. Of course, we did change it and say, no, hotel is hotel. You're there for 3 days. You can enjoy it for 3, but after 6 days, you might not like it. So anyway, we got into residences, and that's become another vertical now.
And so how important is it? Because nowadays, generally, the mindset is that if you have a design principle or a set design style, a lot of people are thriving on that. But according
Yes,
to you, what is
it'll
the.
get boring after some time. I feel that it'll get boring after some time. You're going to do the same thing, like you're getting the same food every day. That's what you're doing. A chef will get bored preparing the same food every day. He also wants to experiment. I think we should be. I believe we should be looking at more than doing just one kind of stuff.
And is there like a
And
limitation?
styles will change. Style is never not ever, change is the only constant
Yes.
in this. Style will change. Demand for style will change. In hospitality we started doing very minimalistic things when they came up. Now people have started, no, I want slight opulence also. It needs to be inspirational or aspirational, not aspirational for people to use those kind of spaces. So things are evolving,
Right.
and they're continuously evolving.
Sure.
According to you, for an architect, more specifically to an architect, what is the general path they should probably look at? Having a very individualistic kind of practice where it's named after them, having a smaller team, or growing it to an organization like yours. What is
See,
the general path
okay.
that you recommend?
Okay, today we are not a large organization, neither are we a very small organization. If you are in I believe that learning wise, small organization very good. Growth wise, small organization not so good. And most people aspire to work in a larger environment. You get exposed to so many more things, and not just getting into one small style, one type of things. Call it a boutique practice, okay? Which my younger brother has very boutique practice, and that's why I send my daughter to work out there, so that she would learn a little bit more than what she would learn. Because in a life like this, when you're doing an internship, I know interns say, oh, for 4 months I was only designing toilets. So large organization internship, not a great idea. But afterward, when you need to grow, small organization would not let you grow.
Uh, I want to inquire into this. Is it all right?
Good.
You said something interesting and rather fascinating right now, which is a learning point of view is very clear. Small organizations don't let you grow, and while your learning might be really heavy, whereas large organizations tricky to learn, but the scale factor is higher from a growth point of view. I want to get to the behind the table conversation, which is running a large organization vis-a-vis a small organization. You are what I would say a fairly large organization.
No, it's mid-segment, I'll correct you.
Sure.
I large with 300 architects and things like that. And the way India is growing, we are going to need larger organizations. I mean, the kind of projects if we want to do, I mean, practically townships and things like this is the future.
Right.
And you need an organization which has enough people to handle it. I mean, a small organization, it's not small, but 40 people organization is not going to be able to handle very large projects. And the way India is growing, we need, and to forget India, after this is global outlook, which I mean, our current Prime Minister has that outlook. And yes, we could be working over the entire Southeast Asian region.
Right.
And for that, larger organization will help.
Right. So the question that I want to ask you is, when you're looking at manufacturing, typically, we would by default or by reason assume that a large organization plays with smaller margins and large volume, right? And so the profitability is elsewhere, or one makes money differently, whereas a boutique company or boutique maker or a designer maker works, his revenue is a lot less, but the profit margins are a lot more. So the question that I have for you is, when you're placing yourself as a mid-segment organization, first question is, according to you, what is a small organization or a boutique organization? From how would you define a mid-segment and a large organization? You gave one parameter saying that 300 people and above, according to, is a large organization, and we probably need to head there as a country, right? Are there any other factors to define this? And the second is the principle that we follow in manufacturing. Does it apply to you as well?
Okay, two things are there. Okay, one is an organization. Yes, it needs, what I said is a boutique organization, maybe with about 10 to 15, maybe 15 people is, we can handle, one principal can handle it.
Right.
When it grows larger, there is more accountability on the organization. A client would like to meet more responsible people in the organization. Also, he needs to have a fallback, just in case the person heading is not available, who else is available? Who else is available? This is typical thing when you're working with corporates, they need second line, third line there to be able to handle the project. Somebody in the organization will take care of it. That's the part from the organization side. And super large, the really large ones, which I'm saying 300, probably that's an overshot, maybe even 100 people is, you require maybe different, you require a very management kind of a setup who would run the organization. And probably the main architects don't come anywhere in the picture. They are behind the scene, and there'll be only frontline guys which are there. So that's a large. They work very differently also. Somebody calls them, they won't definitely not expect the head of the organization to come for a meeting. There's somebody down the line can be handling that.
Right.
That's a part of the organization part of it. But also we have to realize in our country, further down the line, after doing everything on paper, we still don't have professionals executing the work. What I mean is, we have a mason is not who has been educated to be a mason or trained to be, just trained to be a learnt on the job kind of thing. Supervisor is one who has learnt on the job. He has not institutionalized how to do it, which you typically find anywhere in the, you go to Middle East, that a construction worker is a professional construction worker. Here it's typically a farmer comes and off season he will do construction work, when he'll again go back for the sowing period or for harvesting season.
Right.
So they are not professionally working on that, and therefore it's very difficult. So here a very large organization might not be able to work with them.
Right.
So it's not just an organization growing to that level, it's the entire industry has to come up to that level.
Got it.
This is what I'm looking at, the overall picture. Today
Right.
we don't have that, but that needs to happen. Like typically I say doing work in Kerala is very easy because most of the guys have worked in the Middle East and come. So they are little professionally trained
Got it.
when they're coming there. But again down the line,
Right. Rajesh?
So what does it take to be a large organization? Like you said, there is a need to have.
I understood your question before you said it also. Okay, architects have horrible management skills. I'll just tell you first thing, really horrible. We are very emotional about things. We don't believe a job is a job kind of thing. No, we don't have that. We have very humane kind of attitude with everybody, and we are more sensitive to a lot of things. You need to get management into this business. Like this, like I know I'm handling accounts at times. I mean, I'm not trained for it. I'm not, architects are not even trained to have professional meetings, but we learn on the job. So today, management is what is lacking in most architectural organizations. What I said, I don't know how many architects have MBAs running the organization. Over the world, this is where it is, and they assign the architects to do a particular job. There are people who run and get projects, etc. Today we have done this project, so we are getting that project by default, not by marketing ourselves.
There's a question that I want to ask you. You just mentioned that architecture firms are not being run by MBAs. Would you allow your company to be run by an MBA?
I'm actually looking towards that as I'm growing. That maybe we'll need somebody with more management skills to run an organization. We don't have that. We have just like say learning on the job kind of thing.
But
In this industry,
isn't there a conflict there from the point of view that, see, you've created an organization on a certain credibility of being creative, right? And that's the success story for what CDE stands today. Right? And and there is enough clarity that we even get from you saying that, hey, I didn't want a style to be over dominant to what we do, and we wanted to do justice to the client or the client's requirement. That is what we subscribe to. Now, the moment an MBA comes into this, it is not that an MBA or a pure business person is unable to appreciate it, but what happens to that reason or soul that made you build this organization, and tomorrow a businessman comes and gives a business perspective and becomes the driver as well. Isn't it?
it's like this. I always generally look at it and say hospitals are not run by doctors. Okay, doctor is just a component in the entire hospital.
Right.
It's just like that in any other thing. Doctor is a professional, architect is a professional, but it's not the doctor who runs the hospital. There's somebody else who's driving the doctor to run the hospital.
Right.
If there is a managed person who can drive the architects to do something, that's exactly what one wants in any growing organization.
Right.
Why is there? I mean, generally we look at creativity separate, business separate, but the whole. I mean, is it possible to have all of this together?
Yes, it is possible. Why is it hospital not having it all together? architects need to appreciate that, listen, they cannot do what a trained management person can do. And a management person needs to respect that he cannot do what an architect does. So they have to somewhere find a way to work hand in hand or hand in glove and then work together with each other.
Will that acceptance come in from a client side?
It is going to come in. Eventually it will come in. If not today, it's going to come in, because 30 years back, people didn't think much of an architect also. 30 years back, even 10 years back, people would insist that he wants to speak to only me or Milind. But now things are changing already. They have started accepting my second line, third line, coming in and discussing with them. It's going to be like this. And eventually what happens after another 5 years, 10 years, maybe I would be one of the management guys.
Got it.
And not the architect who's going to be running it.
So, if the client perception changes and the whole business perception changes, even the organizations become bigger, does the council, the governing body, isn't that the change required at that level also?
Yeah, governing body, Council of Architecture, is going to be a defunct kind of thing. Yeah, they do nothing for the profession.
You're talking about the Architects Guild.
Council of Architecture.
Generally,
Council of Architecture.
governing body,
There's nothing.
whoever it
They
is.
just
Because
create some rules, regulations which nobody
right
cares
now
a damn
you're not
about.
allowed to advertise, you're not allowed to have a board bigger than so and so. With
Yeah.
the changing times, practice has to change. Also, one of the things that I also wanted to touch upon, since we are discussing this, is architectural practice is considered as more of consultancy thing on the design or the architecture part of it. Is there a possibility to have an integrated services where you do design, do construction, do maintenance, or larger? Is there a larger organization like that possible?
This is actually happening in a way that there's something known as project management consultancy. Now, today what is happening typically in India, they are taking the entire project and then they appoint architects to do the job. So, architect never interact with the client and such. We are interacting with a project management company and the job gets done, though it doesn't get spec'd so well, because an architect is doing the job just to do the job. He's not interacting with the client, so he doesn't understand the client exactly. So it's a job which is getting done. That's about all. And it works very well. We worked with the PMC, has awarded us a job, and we did it, and they finished it in 4 months. They finished 135,000 square feet.
Right.
And everybody was happy. But there's nothing exciting. There's nothing for me to talk about it.
So tell me something. Isn't that the same format as what it would tend to become even in your organization when an MBA takes over?
That's where I was saying it's not just takeover. I'm not getting takeover.
Yeah, I mean,
He's
at the
going to
driver's
run
seat.
in hand with the team down the line. Only then would it work successfully.
Like how we create SOPs and everything has to be created keeping the creativity in mind.
In mind, that has to be like in a hospital, a doctor is a very senior part of the, but he doesn't run it.
Right. That's an operations.
The core team has to be there, and they have dedicated different responsibility to different people to handle. And probably in a large organization, that's what will work better.
Interesting. So, how soon do you see a possibility of transformation of architectural practice to large organizations like this?
Okay, it's not just how long I see it. It is India's growth also has to be a part of that for me to put some kind of date, number, or something like that. But object is to move towards that. That yes, if I can find a way. Now we already started in our office. Okay, different teams handling different things, doing things differently, and though they lack one management guy or something like that. But yes, it will happen. Maybe I would put it maybe 15 years. Just giving some vague number.
Yeah.
It could mean nothing. It all depends on how things happen otherwise.
Because right now it's mostly all these foreign architects who've come and set up
Well, it's
offices
like this.
here. And
Ratan Tata had the idea of doing that. He started that. Then he's no more. And I don't know what happened to that entire. He's an architect. So he started creating an architecture practice 3 years back. But I don't know where that went eventually.
What is the name of the place?
Ratan Tata is an architect.
Of course, but what did he start 3 years ago?
Architecture practice.
Architecture practice. A large architect.
Independently?
Yeah. He was making an organization, architectural organization.
And what is the name of the organization?
I don't have a.
But Tata Projects is a separate firm that takes care of bigger projects. So how will, I mean, if the, let's say, going the corporate way is the thing that is going to be possible, how do these smaller concepts taken, how are they taken care where an individual is responsible for the building? Like an architect's signature is mandatory for
Yes.
the thing. So in those kind of things, how does it,
I'll
like,
just tell you,
definitely things have to evolve, but
things will evolve. Today also, how many projects do I sign as an architect who's with the authorities and things like that? Okay, it's like in India today, you can get anybody to sign. I mean,
Yeah.
that's why I told you the entire Council of Architecture is quite defunct. Building surveyor or something has the authority to sign.
Yeah, they're doing that.
What is the point in this today? That's why I say a Council of Architecture needs to have bigger hands, needs to get a little bit more powerful, and then things will change. The architectures, they've already stipulated minimum fees, etc. But who's following that? Everybody's working at least 50 to 60% below the prescribed fees.
And then ending up doing
Then
ruining
the
the
kind
name
of
of architecture,
activities
yeah.
people do is all ridiculous.
And in a fluid nature of architecture and interiors and design, is there a multidisciplinary design firm possible at a large scale?
Yeah, I would want it to happen that way. Though when we started that we are doing retail mostly, so let's start including visual merchandising in our thing. So we did that, and we were doing visual merchandising, and though we are not making money on it, because people, if you're doing architecture, you give me visual merchandising free. So then we realized it's not going to work यार. तुम ये कर रहा है तो वो भी हमको free में दे दो.
So turnkey maybe generally it is like that. So
हाँ,
when they say that you are executing, so why don't you give the design free?
also free.
So these are all, I mean, do these come as...
This is a very negative thing, a very sad thing. It's happening that way, but that's it. I mean, things need to change.
In Indian context, design is never even taken seriously. Where unless if you're doing multiple things, then it's like design is given free, and that's what is happening with most of the online companies these days
that's one thing which is,
so.
see, online has there's no human contact once you get into this online and things like that. You can't understand. It's just something you can pull off and give. And it's
so
not
it's never so
meaningful.
personal in terms of
it's
design,
not so
but-
meaningful. See, what I'm saying, that there's something known as larger project design where you not need to be personal. There's house design which you need to be intimate and very personal about. They're two different kinds of projects, and one has to look at them very differently. To do a design for somebody's residence, for example, you need to understand him, understand his lifestyle, understand how his family functions, and then give a solution to that. Whereas typical builder design, you just go ahead and build.
Right.
And people take it and then personalize it afterwards.
I have a question which I think in certain sense we have already spoken with Milind about, but that was his perspective. Right. I wanted to get into the same inquiry with you as well. Considering you guys are two different people from your approach point of view, as much as you guys are married to each other. I don't know who's fourth wife, but that's all right. What would be your approach to defining success?
Success, I still believe it's a state of mind. Huh? Somebody will believe I got more money, I'm more successful. Somebody say I got more job satisfaction, I'm successful. I've done a bigger project, I'm more successful. I'm happy about the project, I'm successful. It's giving me satisfaction, I'm content with what I've done, successful. You can just change the stages and the steps in success. I believe this success. Once upon a thing, at the age, once I start earning this, enough ho gaya. I've made that kind of, happy about it. Aspirations keep changing. The milestone for success also keeps changing. Now, for me, it was build an organization was the bottom line. And yes, I have moved towards building an organization, which I believe is success. Making more money? No, I am not one of those guys who say, if I made too much money, I'm more successful. No. Money is something which you just, it's there. I mean, this is just one small commodity which is there as a part of, money is not the main part in the entire thing, but money is required.
This is distinct from Mr. Millen's approach.
Of course.
His cornerstone or his goalpost is very different.
Mine is different, exactly.
Yeah.
I'm already since day one, I'm believing I'm successful, okay?
Right.
It makes me feel happy.
Makes you feel happy. Sure. I think that's an alignment. If you were to recommend to us, independently or as a team together, what would we or what should we do? Apart from hard work. Hard work is hygiene. Everybody's got to hard work or put in some amount of early clocking in diligently. So diligence I'm keeping aside. Apart from that, what would you suggest as a person who's been there, done that to a very large extent? That's how we look at you. He's successful, he's been there, done that, he's maneuvered, he's sustained partnerships, he's grown the organization. He is where he wanted to be, for starters, 40 years ago, 50 years ago, whenever you started. What would you recommend to us to do right now so that we can kind of be in your shoes when we are there?
Both of you need to define what you, first thing is success, what do you want to achieve out of it, and always look back and say, am I better today than what I was yesterday? How much better I am today, or how much better one wants to be after a particular time? That should be the goalpost. And the goalpost keeps changing. It's not a standard or fixed goalpost. And it's not that aim for the moon, you might hit the mountain. No. I mean, take smaller steps is what I believe. There's no point in jumping. It's not going to achieve too much, and maybe you can break your legs. Look at what you did some time back, and look at what you're doing now and where you want to be after some time. I mean, you define your time frames for yourself, and that would be achievement.
Right.
And once you achieve what you want, that is success. Success is going to, your goalposts will change always, and they should change also.
Right. It's interesting you're saying this, that the goalpost will change. But prior to that, you said something more interesting, which is as I hear it and I'm putting it in my words, you essentially said, Bashab and Rajesh, focus on progress. If you feel better today than you were yesterday, and you're being able to experience that, quantify that, feel that, that means that's, to me, looking at, am I being able to create a sense of progress for myself? Right? Now, let's say prior to that you said something else, which is sit together and figure out what is it that you want to define as success, right? In Milind and your case, did you guys sit together to decide what was your this thing? Or, because both your ideas of success are very different.
Both of us know what our ideas of success are. He knows what I believe in success,
Right.
and I leave a lot of things to him. We do it.
Right,
Okay, because that's what you want to do.
right,
Okay, I believe things differently. So
Right.
he lets me do. I believe in success. I have more interesting time with my teams out here, and I spend more time with them than what Milind does, because of his idea of success is a little different from mine.
yeah.
I am enjoying office more because of what I want. He's set his goalpost too far ahead.
So while your ideas of success are very different and you still pulled this off or pulling it off, it's present continuous tense. You were suggesting that we should sit together and define our goalpost for success.
See, it's
right
like
now.
this. His idea of success is also going to be good for me.
Right.
My idea of success is also going to be good for him. We have to accept that and not
Cool.
to conflict it.
Cool. So if I'm putting it in my words again, I'm clarifying this. More than having the same idea of success, it is important for us to be open to each other, transparent to each other, saying that भैया अच्छा तेरा है मेरा है, उसमें अगर alignment आती है, follow that and be
If you're working together, you should know what is each other's idea of success.
right.
I mean, without you having to ask him, you should know this is what he means by success, and he should know what you mean by success. And if you understand this, it's good. That's all you want. And either of you, whatever you're successful, the other one is going to be successful.
Right.
So this is easy to do when you have only two partners. What happens when you have multiple of them?
We'll all complicate our lives at some point in time.
Now, I really like the idea of the corporate architectural firms, because that we've been always talking about why there are no large architectural firms in India, though now they are picking up. I think there are a handful Indian grown large
RSP
firms.
is there.
RSP
That's also Singapore,
yeah,
actually.
it started from Singapore. DSP is there. Education
Correct,
EDI is there. So there are a few.
There's also going to be a situation. Maybe there'll be international tie-ups. Who knows
yeah.
how it happens, how it grows. Really, we have no idea what's going to happen in the future. But one should be giving his best shot. I mean, I'm giving my best shot at what I want to do, and maybe things will change. Maybe things will be very different. I have really no idea of the future.
You've been in the practice for so long. Do you see things now changing, that where Indian architects are going abroad,
Yes.
not practicing in a foreign land, but practicing in India and taking this practice outside?
I have seen this happen, especially in the Middle East. This happened. I mean, there are friends of mine who've done this, and they have good setups in the Middle East, and They've really grown phenomenally well out there. And they're highly respected out there. And from there, they've moved to Africa and other places. So yes, this is definitely what can happen in the future. I mean, if I was to look at myself, maybe in retrospect about 20 years back, oh, maybe we should have done that. But this is definitely happening, and it's going to happen. Indian architects are going to be working everywhere because our level of education has been very good. Okay, it's slightly intense and slightly, maybe it's very stereotype, but as an architect, architects explore more things than what they are taught. In fact, college has only taught me to how to learn further. Okay, how to educate myself and how to get more gain knowledge. What I learned out of college is not even decimal percent of what knowledge I carry
Yeah.
today.
Yeah.
So architects do know how to learn. That's one of the positives about education like architecture, because it's not very stereotype.
It's the nature of the profession.
It's not stereotype, and yes, all architects are able to think beyond what most people are able to think and visualize better than that. And like engineering is very highly differently oriented, and we don't tend to explore. We are very few scientists after all that. And we should be having I mean, 10 times larger R&D in India with the amount of engineers we produce, some of the IITs which we have. But most IIT guys go and learn marketing and do something else with that.
Yeah.
Okay, end
True.
up being MBAs. I mean, it's very futile education. It's a wasted education, is what I put it. If you're going to do that, we should really have been one of the top of the line in R&D in the world, but that's not happened.
So
Rajesh.
one very personal question in terms of your practice. So far we've been discussing about the organization. You've been in the practice for so long. You've seen so many problems, so many projects, and you've had solutions for every problem that has come across. Now at this age, do you see, is there anything that is not that comes to you as a problem, or there's always a solution that's already there?
It's got a lot more positive thinking that I've started believing. Maybe I'm not right, but every problem has a solution and more than one solution. And I'm not scared to explore solutions, which I was scared some time back. And technology also has progressed phenomenally. I know I believe I can solve any problem. Okay. Maybe I'm overshooting, but yes, I am more confident than I was 20 years back.
Got it.
And somewhere experience is all that is added to it. I mean, we explored
Well,
various
the
things.
Experience is so vast that you have, that every solutioning probably, I mean, from the experience that you've had, you can resolve a problem that quickly. So is there some sort of a repetition that keeps happening, or how do you keep yourself away from
Every problem has a very different solution. Yeah. See, and it's not just that is my solution. I mean, I still debate and listen to other people coming up with better solutions. And I am able to appreciate those solutions and take it forward from there. I am not the only person. I say I am my solution, best solution. No, it's all. I'm going to misfire. See, everybody has a capacity of making certain right decisions in a day.
Right.
Of making certain decisions.
Right.
If I'm supposed to make five decisions, maybe 4 out of them are right. So you have to limit the kind of responsibility of decisions that you have to take.
Right.
And take the most difficult ones.
On the organization level, you mentioned about the hospital, where hospitals are run by management people and not the doctors. So not necessary that a hospital has to be owned by a doctor himself or herself. Can a similar situation happen in an architectural practice where a non-architect owns the practice or the firm and there are architects working there? Is that possible?
I believe it is possible, as long as one is sensitive to like we have put these are the managers, they are the architects. No, they need to be closer to each other and understand each other. Man, it's a very crisp pattern. The A, B, C answer is A or B or C. No, we have between A and B, between B and C. I mean, architects need to be involved along with I'm saying not two separate things. The architects are there and will be an integral part of the organization, and they have to be with each other. But you have certain marketing guys and things like different people have to come together to work.
Does council regulations allow this?
What is council regulations?
I don't know. I'm just asking.
What I'm hearing from him is very interesting. Please go ahead. Answer.
See, first thing I told you, our council is totally handicapped. They don't know anything. I mean, when you can have some XYZ signing for anything, how does it really matter?
True, that's there.
Okay, when it's building license, I don't know what license they give. Is the surveyor's license is also allowed to sign. I mean, if council is allowing that, then how does it matter? He'll get this guy to sign on the document. That's all. Employ somebody who can sign that, and the authority signs. Now today, when you're signing out there, it is being signed by an architect, but the name of the firm is any firm. I mean, a firm can be anything.
Right.
The other thing what I realized from him is I think we also look at it from a very limited perspective of अभी आर्किटेक्ट चला रहा है या आर्किटेक्ट्स चला रहे हैं या डिजाइनर्स चला रहे हैं कल के तारीख में एक मैनेजर चलाएगा आई डोंट थिंक सो दैट इज हाउ इट इज गोइंग टू बी ब्लैक एंड
Not
व्हाइट
like that. It has to be.
you will create a body of people
What I'm happening is a lack of architects' offices are lacking managers. Okay, they need to be a part of the organization. I'm actually against individual names heading organizations. Okay, I said no. How will the organization grow? I mean, I would not want to grow in somebody else's banner as an architect. Correct. I want to. Yeah, this is an organization. I'm a part of that. I'm under that banner. And my name is not there.
So in a situation like that, let's say it becomes a corporate, like even architectural practices become like corporate companies. What happens when the founders' kids start coming into the picture?
They come in like any other employee here.
So, but let's
Like
say
it's like that.
so. This is when they are architects
Mukesh
themselves.
Ambani, but they came into father. They've started from the mail room, no?
right
See, anybody can. He's like any other employee who has come in. It doesn't mean that you'll be boss. Okay, it's not necessary that he be boss, and that's the way we should look at it.
But in Indian perspective,
Yeah, we have this. That is nepotism, is what I'm saying. I'm not for nepotism. I don't believe in nepotism.
but Indian
I
context
didn't even want
mein-
my daughter also doesn't want to come and work in my organization.
But
Because
that maturity is not there in an Indian context
No,
where
if you don't know how the
manage-
staff looks at people, yeah, with nepotism, say, nahi, wo boss ka ladka hai. They
that's-
have their
that's what
attitude, yeah. So
happens.
that's very horrible
what
kind
happens.
of. It's not good for. They also don't feel good about it.
But a lot of family businesses where these things happen are not. They don't look at it like that. They just see okay,
Also they-
everything's coming
They're
into the
half
family.
thinking, yeah,
and-
it's like this. Other people need to be given an opportunity to grow. You can't just say that, oh, boss's son, so I'll grow, and everybody sit behind. Either they need to be paid very well.
the other thing I also feel and tell me whether both you guys in some sense this is like an open conversation from that point of view I have at least it's my perspective now that being a beneficiary of what my ancestors have done, I can't really accuse myself for it, right?
One can't.
Because
They're
I'm
done. But
born
then it's like this. It doesn't make you senior in an organization.
Yeah.
It doesn't make you the headman of the organization. You need to grow to be the headman of the organization. You need to grow to be there, or you might not be there. And that's where an organization look at it that way. And everybody has to look at it that way. Maybe you'll have, yes, your shares in that company, you get profits, you make more money, but you would make more money if somebody else is doing a better job than you. The objective is to make money.
Right.
If the objective is, no, I want my name only, then eventually the organization will run down. And everybody needs to realize that. If a person not capable of running an organization is that he should be running the organization, it will be exactly what is happening with Rahul Gandhi.
I had something, a little bit of a twisted question to ask you. You stand at 45 years of service as an architect, been an entrepreneur, and that's not to say that you aren't an architect, but the moment one enterprises, the hat you wear is different, right? Especially when you said 87, 88, you guys had to take in more people. You guys started off in 97 with 2 of you guys, and then you grew. You wanted to grow. That was your single-minded focus. It was like a goalpost you set for yourself at that point of time. But enterprising and running a company or a business or making it grow is wearing different hats.
It's nothing close to that. For me, it's exactly the same thing what I was doing in somebody else's organization. I was making him grow, and not one day did I feel that he should not be growing. Until one day he said that ये तो हमारा नौकर है, हमारे लिए काम करता है. Okay, so I got cut off. From that day I said no more.
Since it's not just a light-hearted thing that, Sir generally wears a hat when he's outside. So when he's outside, he wears the hat of an architect. When he's in the office, he's an entrepreneur, no hat.
What a nice way to put it here.
Nice. So the place that I was getting at is, if he wears multiple hats, who does he identify himself as more today? More an entrepreneur or more an architect?
More of an architect. I was not born with it, at least I grew up with that. I've been trained for that. I am started managing things or managing people now, which is okay, I'm learning. But as I always will be only architect.
Rajesh, to you?
I'm done with
uh,
the topic that we are discussing. There's lots more that can come out of
no,
him,
but that will be opening another
Yes,
dabba
so
altogether.
not
That's
now,
a couple
not
of
now
hours,
for sure.
right? So I think,
and I've got a solution to the large architecture firm. I'm hoping that from here people listen to this and at least have the courage to grow it and make it big and not retain it to a boutique architectural practice, and hoping to see many more larger architectural practice or multidisciplinary design firms.
the other thing
So-
that I get from him is the fact that I think it is okay to be any.
Yeah.
It's a choice, be it boutique, be it mid-segment, be it scale. Necessarily doesn't need to be a direction that you go in. It's what you want to put it as. Like his brother, Deepak, it is okay to be him. It
Yeah,
is
he's
okay to-
exactly happy to be exactly what he's doing, and he's very happy with that.
Right.
No, so I know and I understand it's an individual's choice, but what I'm saying is people should at least be open to the idea of a larger architectural
Absolutely.
firm.
I've seen good architectural firms, and they have managers running it, and it's very good. And architects have recruited them to run the organization.
I think that's a great way of looking at it and going. Like you said, since India is growing and India, if things go well for India, that's the need of the hour as well. So let's see. Hopefully, we should get a lot more. We should record with a lot more people with bigger firms now. So going forward, so
Right.
let's see. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you
It's been
for
a
all your
pleasure
time.
talking to you guys here. It was definitely fun.
I wanted to ask a quick question. How did you feel about the conversation with us?
Interesting, very interesting, and very. I mean, I enjoyed it.
Right.
Though I'm not much of a talker.
Right.
Thank you so much. Thanks a lot,
My
sir.
pleasure.
Thank you for taking time out. And sorry we have eaten
My
into
weekend
your
out,
lunch time and
I'm going
everything,
home,
but
yeah.
definitely thank you so much.
So
Thank you.
very much.
My pleasure.
And thank you for finding time for us and doing this with
pleasure.
us. Let us know what you think about Anand's journey. If you like what you see and hear, press like, share and subscribe.